Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This is something, Mr. Speaker, that the electorate has a right to know. Will the Prime Minister confirm, once and for all, and put paid to all the endless circus of media speculation? Yes, the circus of media speculation. Will the Prime Minister confirm, after the elaborate claims he has made, will he now put on record an exact and unambiguous figure? Exactly how big is the Prime Minister's willy?
Mr. Speaker, my willy is a more than adequate size that has never been targeted by any complaints, unlike many members of the opposite benches. And I can say with some confidence that my willy is substantially bigger than that of the leader of the opposition.
Order! Order! Once again, Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister refuses to answer a question and resorts instead to insult and unsubstantiated allegation. I ask again that the Prime Minister put a figure on his claims and tell the country exactly how big is his willy.
Mr. Speaker, the only person who appears to show any interest in the size of my willy is the leader of the opposition. Is there something he wants to tell me?
The Prime Minister, Mr. Speaker, appears either incapable of or unwilling to put a figure on it. Despite questions in the House and a frenzy of speculative media coverage, the size of the Prime Minister's willy remains the most closely guarded secret in the country. I put it to the Prime Minister that the country is now led by a man with a much smaller willy than has ever been known in British history, and significantly smaller than the willy that occupied number 10 under the previous government.
Mr. Speaker, I will take no lectures or admonitions from the honourable member opposite, nor will I refer to the widespread allegations that the claimed enormity of the previous willy to occupy Downing Street was the result of special medication. It is alleged that without artificial enhancement, the willy was, in real terms, at best nothing more than average. And since the new leader of the opposition took office, nothing has changed.
Mr. Speaker, I will give the Prime Minister, yes, I will give the Prime Minister one last chance to answer the question. Exactly how big is the Prime Minister's willy?
My willy, Mr. Speaker, is precisely big enough to fill the opening on this side of the House, which is more than can be said for the leader of the opposition. That is all the information the honourable member needs to know.
Mr. Speaker, as the Prime Minister refuses to answer the question, are we to conclude that the Prime Minister's silence on the matter confirms that his willy is actually the smallest ever to come across the threshold of number 10?
Of all the willies, Mr. Speaker, to have come in the House over the many years of this place's history, mine stands proudly in that line and rises when called to serve our country.
Mr. Speaker, I stand ready to put my willy up against the Prime Minister's, so that the country can see at once and for all exactly who is better equipped to service this country. Is the Prime Minister willing to join me on national television and put his willy where his mouth is?
As always, Mr. Speaker, I am more than willing to lay myself bare to public scrutiny. But the honourable member will know there are two problems. Firstly, as much as I welcome his challenge, his willy size would barely be seen by a television camera. Secondly, as I'm sure the honourable member's wife will agree, despite the more than adequate size of my, or indeed any willy, it's not just the size that counts, it's what you do with it. And the member opposite hasn't got a clue.
Mr. Speaker! Mr. Speaker!